So we left ourselves with this question of whether all flowers are bisexual. Right? So do all flowers have both male parts and female parts? Do all flowers have both stamens and ovaries? And I hope you did some research and found some interesting things. Well, the answer really is no. Not all flowers are bisexual. Right? It turns out that some plants have flowers which are unisexual. For example, the maize plant. Right? The maize plant is the corn plant. You know, like how many of you like corn? You know, like cup corn at McDonald's or barbecued corn at barbecues. Right? The maize plant produces flowers which are unisexual. So on a maize plant, you will find male flowers and female flowers, and they look different. So here are the male flowers, normally found at the top of the maize plant, and the male flowers only have the male parts, right? So they have a stamen, but they do not have ovaries, right? No ovary, no stigma whatsoever. You can't find this on the male flowers. On the other hand, if you look at the bottom of the maize plant, you'll find the female flowers, which kind of look like this. Strange and hairy looking. So the female flowers, these contain the stigma, they contain the ovaries, the ovules, but they do not have stamen, right? So these are female only flowers, they're unisexual flowers. So this is an example of a plant where the flowers are not bisexual. And very interestingly, actually, this hairy thing, right? I was just thinking about it. You know, if you look at a corn, sometimes they have this little hairy feeling, right? I think it actually is the remains of the female flowers of the maize plant. Cool, huh? Alright, so let me just sum it up for you. So there are many plants which reproduce sexually through flowers, so they have flowers to produce sexually, and in some of these plants, the flowers that they produce are bisexual. So that means they have both the male parts and the female parts. So they have both stamen and carpel, right? Both you can find in a single flower. But in other plants, some plants, they produce flowers which are unisexual. So they are separate male and female flowers. Right, so they are male only flowers, right, which contain stamen, and then there are female only flowers. Now there's one more way that we can categorize this. So in some of these plants with unisexual flowers, you can find male and female flowers on the same plant. So just now, let's say for the maize plant, right, on one plant you could find both the male flowers and the female flowers. So one plant is able to produce both male and female flowers. Okay, but the flowers are separate, right? So these are called monoecious plants. In monoecious plants, there are unisexual flowers on the same plant, right? But then there's another kind of plant called the dioecious plant. So in dioecious plants, the unisexual flowers are on different plants. So an example of this is the papaya. So in the papaya plant, you will find some papaya trees where all the flowers are female. And then you'll find other papaya trees where all the flowers are male. So on this papaya tree, you will not find any female flowers. You only find male flowers. And on this papaya tree, you only find female flowers, but not male flowers. So this is kind of like the papaya, and this is the mamaya, if you get it, what I mean. So this is dioecious plant, where unisexual flowers are found on separate plants. Now, why are there so many different variations? Bisexual, unisexual, monoecious, dioecious? Well, we're going to see that in the next part of our lesson when we come to pollination. Because different types of flowers have different issues when it comes to pollination. So I'll leave you with this. I want you to read your textbook, and I want you to try to find answers to these things. What is this inflorescence? What does it mean by ovaries are superior or inferior? We've looked a bit at this already, so I'll get you to just look at it yourself as well. And I hope that from here you can actually start doing some of your flower power assignment and learn more about what are the different type of flowers out there and apply what you have learned about the flower parts to understand those plants. Alright, so I'll see you in the next lesson. In the next lesson, we're going to be talking about pollination. Okay, so just for you to just return to the learning objectives, make sure that you are able to state the structure and functions of the different parts of the flower, and also to explain how plants reproduce sexually. Right? What's the male gamete? What's the female gamete? Where are they found? And etc. Okay, so I'll see you in the next lesson.